Good morning, Year Ones. It's Miss Hocking here, and it's time for our English remote learning this week. Now, just in case you're feeling a little bit unmotivated today, I found this lovely picture that's made me smile. It says, Monday is a state of mind. Put on your positive pants and get stuff done. It's all about choosing to be motivated and saying, yes, I'm going to get all my work done today. I can't wait to see what you achieve, everybody. So today and this week, we are learning about the difference between fiction and non-fiction text. So fiction has got this dragon here, and non-fiction has got this scientist. And hopefully by the end of today you will understand the difference between fiction and non-fiction types of writing. Now, before we learn the difference, I want us to practice saying the words. So this wizard here is guarding this word, and that's a clue for you, and it says fiction. Now I'm going to say it, fiction, and now I want you to try it. Good job. And now we're going to have a go at this word. This one says non-fiction. My turn. Non-fiction. Your turn. Great. Now, what do you notice about these two words? Stop the video now and tell you're grown up. Good job. This one has the prefix non in front of it, and it means not. So whatever fiction is, non-fiction is not fiction, and it hints to me that they are the opposite of each other, which is absolutely right. Now, before we get going, I want you to use your inference skills. I want you to infer or have a guess about what fiction means based on these pictures here. We've got Stickman, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and a wizard. What do they all have in common? Or I've got non-fiction over here, and non-fiction, I have got a picture of a plane. Now that's a photograph of a plane, that's a hint. I've got a photograph of some scientists in a laboratory, and I've got a picture of a globe, or it's the Earth, but it's a globe that we would use in geography. Have a guess about what you think fiction pieces of writing are and what you think non-fiction pieces of writing are. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. So fiction pieces of writing are pieces of writing about something that is not real, and they are often storybooks, which is why I've put Stickman. It's one of our favourite stories by Julia Donaldson. We've got the Three Bears and Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and we've got a wizard, which is made up. All of these stories are not real. They are just from the imagination of the very clever authors. Whereas non-fiction texts are all about real life things. So, real life things such as travel or planes or the sky, these are all real life things. We can see them in our actual lives. We can't see the three bears in our actual life. They don't exist when we walk down to the shop. And scientists, they are actually real. And the earth, we know that the earth is real because we are on it. So let's have a look at that a bit deeper. Let's explore some examples of fiction writing. So, first of all, fairy tales are types of fiction writing because fairy tales are made up. The Three Bears and Goldilocks or Jack and Jill are not real pieces of writing. Now, I mentioned Jack and Jill because they are in a nursery rhyme. Nursery rhymes are not real either. Humpty Dumpty was not real. Chapter books, things by Roald Dahl or Tom Bates books, they are not real. They are all made up for our enjoyment. And picture storybooks like the ones that we have at home or the ones that we have in school. Picture storybooks are the kind of ones that we would read at the end of the day in school. Those are all stories about things that haven't actually happened. So let's have a look at some of the key features of fictional writing, and that means some of the things that you will always find inside a fiction piece of writing or a fiction story. Fiction books are filled with made-up stories created from the imagination of the author. They are not real, very, very important. They are not real, and sometimes they even include talking animals. Now, talking animals are not real, except for maybe parrots, but they're a very special type of animal. They don't actually know what they're saying, parrots. So, talking animals are not real. Fiction books will always include these features. Not always, but usually. They are not real. They tell us a story. They have characters, people, places, or animals, and they have a setting, so somewhere where they are based. They have illustrations or drawings like in the colour monster. There's always a problem and a solution. So something goes wrong and then it is solved. And it needs to be read in order. It's no good picking up a picture book like the Gruffalo and reading it from the back to the front. It just wouldn't make sense. Now we're going to zoom on to non-fiction writing. If your child is a bit confused, please feel free to stop here and discuss each of these things, or even grab a storybook and see if you can find these things within it. I'm going to put it there so you can pause. Okay, non-fiction writing then. Features of non-fiction books are based in fact. They give the reader information and help us learn more about these different things. So non-fiction books will usually have these features. Now we're looking at the features before the examples of non-fiction writing because it's a little bit trickier for children to spot these. So they've got real facts in them, real things. They give information. Non-fiction books are all about giving us information, but non-fiction texts are not always books. They usually have some photographs in them. They sometimes have a contents page. Now it might be good for you to have a little look at a book and see if you can find a contents page in it. Grown-ups, you might need to go through what that is. Sometimes they will have diagrams with labels, and we'll have a little look at what that means later on in the week. And they will sometimes have headings and subheadings. Now, before you have a little pause of this and look through a non-fiction piece of writing, what I want you to do is have a listen to the examples of non-fiction writing first. So non-fiction types of writing then might be travel brochures or magazines, dictionaries where we can look up spellings of words, history books, really good one, animal nature books or encyclopedias. I know some of you have those at home. Books about dinosaurs, those are real things that actually existed, so they are non-fiction texts. General knowledge and trivia, so quiz books, they are non-fiction books. Art books are non-fiction texts. Recipe books, they tell us about real things. They tell us facts. They tell us how to cook something. Leaflets, maybe you've got a pizza leaflet at home or a leaflet for somewhere exciting to visit. Signs and posters, maybe in the street. And product labels, like on this crisp. Walker's cheese and onion, it gives us information. This is non-fiction text. It gives us information about that product. Okay, pause now or go back if you want to have a look at some non-fiction text and see if you can have any of these in your house. We will be using them later. Okay, so for today's task, what I want you to do is find examples of fiction and non-fiction writing around your house. How many can you find? Once you've found all of the ones in your house, maybe you can find some really obscure, strange ones. Maybe if you go on a walk in your street, you could maybe find some different types of non-fiction text. Maybe your street has a signpost that says your street name on it. Maybe you can find some other text, maybe on some alarms around people's houses. Or maybe there you see some street signs. That will be interesting, like some ones for cars. Those are non-fiction text as well. Then what I want you to do is make a Venn diagram at home. Now this is going to be a physical one, parents. Really important that these are really quite big so they can physically put books and things into them. So in school we're going to be doing these with hula hoops on the floor. We're going to title one section non-fiction text and the other section is going to be fiction text. So real things, real text that include real facts or made up stories. There are going to be some crossovers sometimes, maybe not at home, but in school we have stories about things that really happened, but they might have different features of fiction text, maybe like story pictures, like illustrations, or maybe they will have they may have created a story around an event that actually happened. So they can go in the middle. So I want you to physically make this at home. Use hula hoops if you've got them. If not, you can maybe tape it out on the carpet, on the floor. You can use string to create this, but the bigger they are, the better, so that you can really physically move the books around and put them down. That's a really good thing here. We want it to be as kinesthetic as possible, please, grown-ups. Have a go at that and see if you can put each of the types of text that you find into these different categories. That is your main task for today. If you want an extra challenge, I am going to upload this, but there is absolutely no expectation for you to complete this as well as your Venn diagram at home. What I am looking for is a photograph of this. That is enough evidence. That would be brilliant. If you want to have a look at this and you want to upload it, that's great. You don't have to do it though. This is a Venn diagram, and these are different things that may or may not be in fiction and non-fiction text. So things like enjoyable to read. So I think both fiction and non-fiction are enjoyable to read. So don't get mixed up with the previous Venn diagram you've done. This one is a bit different. Okay, have a lovely, lovely Monday afternoon or Monday morning whenever you are completing this work, and I can't wait to see your pictures from today's learning. Well done, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.